Hi, my name is Kimberly Churchill, and beginning in 2017, my husband and I spent 5 years engaged in a human rights battle against the Newfoundland and Labrador English School District to secure equitable education for our deaf son Carter. In 2023, we received a judicial ruling confirming that the school district had discriminated against Carter for 4 years. What the public does not know is that behind the scenes, I was fighting a second battle, one that began in May of 2021. I was forced to confront a campaign of defamation against me by two deaf organizations and individuals that really should have been in our corner. These letters contained false and deeply damaging claims that were written behind my back, turning my life upside down and causing me immense emotional pain. In 2021, while preparing for Carter's human rights hearing, my husband and I filed multiple access to information requests. And one response included a 2020 letter from the Canadian Association of the Deaf, also known as CAD, describing me as an autist. It's a term that's used to say that someone is racist against deaf people. This letter had been sent to the associate director of the school district, copied to numerous individuals, many of whom were directly involved in decisions affecting our son's education or held influence within the deaf community. I was devastated. We were already under extreme pressure, facing one of the largest public entities in the province. And to learn that simultaneously I was being defamed by an organization that I thought supported us was shattering. Worse still, that letter referenced a 2020 presentation by the Newfoundland and Labrador Association of the Deaf, NLESD, and further access to information requests revealed at least 4 more letters from NLESD started in 2019 containing false allegations that I was autist, oppressive, culturally appropriating, and disempowering the deaf community. These defamatory letters were distributed to senior government officials, key members of the deaf community, Carter School principal, and individuals directly involved in our human rights case. It was a second betrayal, and one that I never saw coming. And despite my pleas, both NLESD and CAD refused to retract or apologize for these deeply harmful statements. With no other recourse, I had to initiate defamation lawsuits against both organizations. NLED's general claim was that they had not been involved in Gain a Superpower. That was a volunteer program that I created out of sheer desperation, where no other program existed to help reduce the isolation that my son faced as the only deaf child in a school of 750 students. The reality was NLESD was involved, and staff from NLESD served on the board of my nonprofit organization called CLASS. CLASS was the Children's Language Acquisition Support System, and they created the program. Renee Fair-Healy, the stepdaughter of NLESD Executive Director Miles Murphy, and NLESD's wellness program case manager and psychologist, was involved. NLED even recorded and promoted a video featuring both me and an NLED instructor to recruit deaf volunteers. And the video was filmed by Miles Murphy himself and posted to NLED social media. Despite this, in 2019, NLED's stance abruptly shifted, and they began a campaign to destroy my credibility. And when that failed, they enlisted Canadian Association of the Deaf to amplify their false claims. Since 2019, NLED has relentlessly spread these lies. Unchecked by the power and the trust they hold in the community, the impact has been devastating, not only to me, but to Carter. In March of 2022, Miles Murphy contacted the founder of the Canadian Deaf Grassroots Movement and requested them to remove a social media post that was promoting our GoFundMe campaign to help cover legal expenses related to Carter's case, his human rights case. And Miles Murphy cited that the lawsuit I had filed against him and NLED was the reason he wanted it removed. He was prioritizing retaliation over supporting a deaf child's human rights fight. In April of 2023, Carter was initially denied access to NLED's family communication program solely because of their animosity toward me. And it was only after legal intervention that he was granted access. These actions broke my heart. To harm a child in order to punish his mother is beyond cruel, especially when that child is deaf and the organization's very mission is to protect deaf individuals. To have defamatory statements made about me, especially to individuals I was negotiating with at the human rights mediation table, was deeply damaging. And while both NLED and CAD have finally issued written apologies and full retractions in February of this year, 2025, it took 4 years. The harm is lasting, and the pain is not going away. There are still people who believe these lies. I've read online comments calling me an insult to my son, and supporters of mine have been called hypocrites who are deaf. I fear that my family will never be fully accepted into the wider deaf community because of these falsehoods. These letters are only the tip of the iceberg of what I was put through. So many lies have been instigated by the defamation, and together both have shattered more than my reputation. They broke something inside me. There have been times that have lasted months that I've cried endlessly, not able to eat or sleep, and at times I didn't even want to exist. The pain of being defamed, of being casted as a villain for simply trying to help my son. It nearly destroyed me. The pain has been inexplicable, and it comes in waves, being triggered by multiple things, such as an event that NLED is hosting and our family can't attend because of the actions of Miles Murphy and Renee Fairhealy, or needing to hire an interpreter and not being able to make that phone call because NLED holds the government contract for interpreting services. My family, myself, and in particular Carter, have done nothing to deserve what has been done to us. And the fallout continues because of it. People often say that time heals. However, lies left unchallenged linger, and I need to defend myself. The truth has to be told, and as hard as this is, I had to do this. So I share this today, not out of anger, but out of necessity, in hopes that it will undo some of the damage that has been done to me. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your support and understanding.